Hello, everybody. So, one fandom that I really love and I'm surprised I haven't talked about more on this channel is Harry Potter. I've only made one video on Harry Potter a while back, like 2 years ago. I took the Harry Potter sorting hat quiz and got put into Hufflepuff. And so that's all I've talked about with Harry Potter on this channel, and I'm really surprised I haven't talked about it more because I really do love it, and I think it's this like perfect combination of this epic story of good versus evil, love and sacrifice, while also just being this, story of these group of kids that's growing up, going through school, going through all, things, going through high school with dating and bullying and insecurities and all that stuff. It has a good balance of those two things, and I think that that's just what makes Harry Potter great. And again, I'm really surprised I haven't talked about it more. And so I recently just rewatched all 8 Harry Potter movies, and I decided that today I'm going to rank all 8 Harry Potter movies from the worst to the best. Let's go. So coming in at number 8 is Deathly Hallows Part 1. Yeah, this movie definitely didn't need to exist. They definitely did not need to break up the Deathly Hallows into 2 parts, and this movie shows why. Like, there's just literally nothing that happens in this movie that couldn't have been cut down and added, been combined with Part 2 to just make one Deathly Hallows movie. It just gets really, like, dragged down, and it just gets boring to watch. Like, when you're just watching Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and then at one point just Harry and Hermione just on the worst camping trip ever, on the run, looking for the Deathly Hallows, it's just like, there's nothing happening. And there's just like this weird moment where Harry and Hermione are dancing, and you're like, so, are you making them a thing now? I thought we were doing Ron and Hermione. I thought we were off, we weren't going to do Harry and Hermione. But are you doing that? Okay, no, you're not. This is just a friends thing. Okay, it's just confusing and just weird, and yeah, there's nothing here that couldn't have been cut down and added to the next one. It's just really boring, but there's also, like, it's funny because, like, they added just enough stuff to warrant, like, having to watch this movie in order to have the next one make sense, but not enough for you to actually care. Like, not enough for you to be like, oh, I definitely want to rewatch this movie. It's like, you kind of have to, because there's stuff in here that you need to know. Like they say, oh, the Deathly Hallows, they introduced them. Dobby dies. What else happens in this movie? I don't know. There's just so much boring stuff in it. It just doesn't, most of it just doesn't matter. It's basically filler the movie. It's just something to bridge the gap between Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows Part 2, just to give some time so you're not going straight from Half-Blood Prince to the Battle of Hogwarts. That's all this really is. It's just really boring, and it's like, there's good character moments, and the acting is good with all the actors. They do a good job, but it's just none of it matters, and you just don't feel like there's not enough stuff here that actually makes you like, oh, that was a good thing right there, that that makes this movie good. It's like, it's just a lot of boring stuff, and once it finally starts to get interesting, as they actually get to that battle at the end, and Dobby dies, and Voldemort gets Dumbledore's wand, gets the Elder Wand, and it gets interesting finally, the movie ends, and you're like, alright, I guess I gotta wait till the next one. So yeah, this movie, it's boring, didn't need to exist, and it comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Goblet of Fire.
Harry, you put your name in a goblet of fire.
So I actually really like this movie. I think it does a good job with, leaning into the awkwardness of them being teenagers, and especially all the stuff surrounding the Yule Ball. I think it's done very well, as, they're awkwardly all trying to get dates, and then, actually in the Yule Ball, like, there's just, like, a lot of awkward stuff happening, and so I think a lot of that is done well, really taking a lot of inspiration from, like, teen comedies, high school comedies, coming of age stuff. It's a lot of fun, that portion of it, but just like the whole Triwizard Tournament thing, I don't think it works that well. A lot of people have, of course, said that the whole thing, like, it doesn't make sense for the spectators, like, they can't see in the water one, like, they can't see what's happening underwater. In the maze one, they can't see what's happening in the maze. So it's like, what's actually happening here? Like, this, it doesn't make sense in the story. It's weird how, I feel like they made it too dangerous. Like, each of the tasks were way too dangerous. Like, I don't understand how they're actually allowed to do this with students. It's like they have a dragon in the first one that escapes. Why are they doing this if it's possible a dragon can escape and attack the school? Then in the second one, underwater, they kidnap their friends and hold them underwater and have to save their friends. And what was the plan if they didn't save them? Because, like, it seems like everybody's like, oh, good, Harry saved, more people than he had to. But it's like, but did he have, like, were they just gonna let the one girl die? Like, what? And then, like, in the maze is, like, pretty much eating the contestants. And it's like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it just seems way too dangerous for this school tournament thing. It's like, it's a bit too much. Then, of course, Voldemort comes back, which that was cool. I like that. However, his whole plan to get Harry, to get him to the point where he can use him to be brought back to life is so convoluted. And it's like, if you need Harry to be alive for this, why do you put him in a tournament that is specifically designed to have a 90% chance of killing him? It just doesn't make sense. It's really convoluted. Again, I still really enjoy this movie, but there's just a lot of weird plot holes in it, and that's really just what, drags this movie down for me, even though I really do enjoy it. Then, at number 6 is The Half-Blood Prince. Again, I enjoy this movie a lot. I think there's some really great moments in here. Of course, story-wise, they have the big moments like, oh, they find out about Horcruxes, and Snape kills Dumbledore. They have the big moments like that, but they also have, on the side of it, that's, just, Harry, Ron, Hermione going through school, starting to date, and the whole love triangle thing with, Hermione liking Ron, but Ron's with Lavender, and then you have on Harry's side, he likes Ginny, but Ginny's with Dean Thomas, and I think that's interesting, shifting around of, the couples. I think they did a good job with that, mostly. And of course, we got this amazing moment between Harry and Hermione.
She's only interested in you because she thinks you're the chosen one.
But I am the chosen one. Okay, sorry.
However, my big problem with this movie, and really the only thing that drags it back, is the whole Harry and Ginny thing. Like, it just isn't done well. It's so awkward and cringy. I mean, just look at this clip.
Open up, you. Don't you trust me?
What? That's just... What? Yeah, it's just really weird. Their interactions are so weird. On paper, it works nicely. On paper, I like the idea of Harry and Ginny, but it just doesn't work well. Plus, like, the Harry and Dean Thomas thing, like, that's hardly even shown at all. There's really only, like, 2 moments that deal with them being together. There's one moment in the pub where Ron sees them together, and he gets mad, and then later on, the second moment is Harry and Hermione at Slughorn's party, and Ginny walks in, and Hermione's like, oh, I can see her and Dean have been fighting, and that's literally it. And the next thing you know, they're broken up, and Harry and Ginny are an awkward, cringy thing now. Yeah. So, honestly, whole Harry and Ginny thing, because of just the awkward cringiness of it all, that's what holds this movie back for me, even though there's so much good stuff with it. There's so many awesome moments, plot-wise, with the overarching story, and also with the characters and their relationships. All of that is done very well, just besides Harry and Ginny. So, again, that's really just what holds this movie back, and why it's so low at number 6. Anyway, coming in at number 5 is The Sorcerer's Stone.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So, this was a good introduction to the characters, the story, the wizarding world. It just does a really good job of getting you, like, okay, this is, getting you interested in this world, that you're going to spend time in for 8 movies. You know, it does a good job getting you into it. I think that the story, the mystery of, oh, somebody's trying to steal the Sorcerer's Stone and we think it's Snape, but then the big reveal, it's actually Quirrell and he has Voldemort on the back of his head, and that's all cool. However, it just feels more like a kid's movie to me, and that's fine, and I enjoy this movie still, but I just, the future movies that feel more like YA books be turned into movies, I just enjoy those more. They appeal to me more than these that are just feel a lot more like children's movies. Of course, it makes sense because they are, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are children in this movie, and as they grow up, it makes sense that the movies are gonna become more mature. But it just doesn't appeal to me to see 11-year-old Harry somehow being, somehow it's coming down to 11-year-old Harry to be the one to save Hogwarts. Like, that's a little bit unbelievable to me. Of course, I still enjoy it, and I still like this movie. It's a great movie. It's just, I have to have something at number 5, and all that stuff just kind of drags us down, putting it at number 5. Then, at number 4 is Chamber of Secrets. I think it's pretty obvious why I put this one here.
It was pretty obvious what you're about to do.
Yeah, this falls into some of the same problems. Not really problems, but just, I don't know, some of the issues that I find in Sorcerer's Stone. It's still, feels more like a children's movie. I think it's just, I don't really like Chris Columbus's directing style of these. They feel a lot more like Halloween children movies. Whereas I think the later David Yates ones, I think, they appeal to me a bit more. So, yeah, this still, that has that same feel of the Philosopher's Stone, the same feel of children's story. I put this higher because I enjoy it a little bit more, and I think the story's a little bit more complex. There's a few more storylines layered in there of, obviously the main Chamber of Secrets storyline. The basilisk is attacking students. Then, of course, you have the whole Dobby plotline, trying to save Harry Potter and then being freed at the end. You have this plotline where you're kind of showing the similarities between Harry and Tom Riddle, between Harry and Voldemort, and of course the pretty obvious Lockhart plotline.
Pretty obvious.
Also, the final battle, I think, is a lot more epic in this one. I think it's way cooler to see Harry with a sword fighting a giant snake than it is to see Harry touching Quirrell and him burning up, and then a Voldemort cloud goes flying through him. That's not as epic as, again, Harry stabbing a basilisk through the head. Like, that's just awesome. So, even though, again, it's a little bit like he's only 12 here, he's doing this, it's a little bit like unrealistic, but it's still cool, it's still epic, and I enjoy this a little bit more than Philosopher's or Sorcerer's Stone. So, yeah, that's why it comes in at number 4. But then, kicking off the top 3 is The Order of Phoenix. The movie that made us realize that Voldemort would not be the most hated character in Harry Potter. It would be Umbridge. Yeah, I think they do such a good job with Umbridge being this character that you just hate. Everybody hates her. She's just so passive aggressive about everything. Like, it's just like the little, like that she always ends every sentence with. It's just so annoying, and you're just like, oh my god. It's just, yeah, they do such a good job with Umbridge's character, making you hate her so much, making you realize, okay, there's a character here worse than Voldemort. Didn't think that would be possible, but here we are. It's Umbridge. Yeah. Also, it's just cool seeing Harry training other students with the whole Dumbledore's army thing. That's awesome. And of course, we get Dumbledore's most boss moment ever.
Dumbledore's got style.
Oh yeah, and did I mention Dumbledore versus Voldemort? epic. And then on the sadder side, we get the death of Sirius Black. Then coming in at number 2 is Deathly Hallows Part 2. This is truly an epic finale, where Deathly Hallows Part 1 was this really boring, just like filler movie. I think mostly because it takes place, away from Hogwarts. You don't get any of Hogwarts. With Hogwarts is an important piece of Harry Potter. And so I think part of the reason why Part 1 doesn't work as well is because Hogwarts isn't involved at all. You never go to Hogwarts in the entire movie. And if you do, it's like once, maybe. I don't even think you do it at all. You never see Hogwarts at all in Part 1. Whereas in Part 2, it's almost primarily in Hogwarts. I mean, it's the Battle of Hogwarts. And I think that's just what makes this so much better, makes it such, satisfying finale of the battle takes place in the school that we've been throughout this series. It just works so much better being in Hogwarts than having this movie that is just them on the run, not in Hogwarts. Just, you miss an important aspect of Harry Potter that you have here. And of course, the Battle of Hogwarts is epic. You get all of the right moments. Everybody gets their own moment. There's so many fan servicey moments. You get Snape's death, and redemption, and the iconic always.
Always.
So good. How could just one simple always be so... It's great. You get Harry realizing he's a Horcrux and realizing that he has to die, he has to let Voldemort kill him. And then he comes back to life, now being able to go up against Voldemort because he is no longer a Horcrux anymore. You get Neville killing Nagini with the Sword of Gryffindor. And you get the moment where Harry kills Voldemort because he is the true master of the Elder Wand, because Draco disarmed Dumbledore, becoming the master of the Elder Wand, and then Harry disarmed Draco with a separate wand, which, yeah, it's a little bit like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it, but that's a little bit convoluted there. Like, he steals a separate wand and somehow is now the master of a different wand that had allegiance to the person who took the wand. It's a little bit ridiculous, but again, we'll just go with it. It's still cool, this moment where you're like, I could kind of see the logic there. Again, a little bit like, but still, you see the logic there, how Harry could be the master of the Elder Wand, and it's just that epic moment where it's revealed, and he kills Voldemort. Awesome. And so, yeah. This is just an epic finale. Has all the right moments. It has a satisfying ending to the story. And I would definitely put it at number 1, if not for Prisoner of Azkaban. I mean, time travel. Need I say more? Yeah, I mean, this movie is really great. The whole mystery of why Sirius Black is going after Harry is done very well. The reveal that Sirius is actually good, and Lupin's a werewolf, and Ron's rat Scabbers is actually Peter Pettigrew, and this is all revealed in one scene, which that is an amazing scene, by the way, that they're able to reveal all of this information in one scene, and have you completely do a 180 on everything you thought before the scene started, and just do a 180, by the end of it you're like, oh wow, this is completely not at all what I thought this was. So great. Then of course, again, the whole time turners thing, like, it's done so well. I mean, it does make me like, why the heck were time turners not used later? That's my only complaint on the series. Not this movie is great, but the series, my complaint is that time turners never come back again. Time turners should have been used somehow in Deathly Hallows. That would have been awesome, but they're just kind of forgotten about after this movie, which is fine. At least we got this cool thing here. But yeah, I wish they came back again. But other cool stuff from this movie, the iconic...
Turn to page 394.
And also, Hermione punches Draco. I think That right there makes this movie great. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. There's a lot of great stuff in it. Of course, time travel, that right there puts it high up on the list for me. But yeah, it's just a great movie in general. Does the reveal so well. And I really enjoy this movie, and that is why it comes in at number 1. So anyway, that is my ranking of all 8 Harry Potter movies, from the worst to the blessed. To the blessed. Anyway, that is my ranking of all 8 Harry Potter movies, from the worst to the... I can't want to say to the blessed. So anyway, that is my ranking of all 8 Harry Potter movies, from the worst to the best. Please comment below your ranking of all 8 Harry Potter movies, and remember to give this video a like, subscribing to the channel, maybe check out some of my other videos. And with that said, that's a wrap. I'm just gonna use a pencil for the wand, because again, I don't actually have a wand, so yeah. Wingardium Leviosa.